Hey, I'm Clay with Airborne Art, and I'm going to do a video today, and I'm going to show you how I made this ground metal panel, the Happy Halloween one, step by step. What I did, the grinding, the putting the candies on it, to putting the face, and even the metal flake. And I'm going to show you step by step how I did it, and how I did it a little cheaper, but still worked out as good. Make sure you like the video, and subscribe to the page. There's going to be a lot more videos, so I hope you like this one. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a ground metal panel here. This is a cheap galvanized steel panel that got on clearance somewhere. It looks like a Halloween style on the other side or whatever. But it was cheap and it works for what we're going to do. We're going to do a starburst type design with the grinder. And you see I just got the thicker wheel so you can get a smoother edge to the grind, and we're just going to work from the center, from the outside in, so the thicker part of the grind will be on the outside and the thinner part will be when you lift here. So try to keep it in a uniform direction. And the thing is, all these separate little lines, a little bit harder, a little bit lighter spot, that's what's going to give you the 3D effect to make it look like it's moving, or deeper. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to put some candy orange on top of it, and then cut out some vinyl pieces and make this look like a pumpkin. So it'll be a rather neat piece to hang up since it's almost Halloween, and we'll see how it looks. So I'm going to grind a little bit. Put on my safety glasses. It's going to get pretty loud, so I'll probably mute this part in the video. Alright, so we got it ground about the way I like it for this project, and as you can see that it gives it a lot of different textures and reflections. If you just keep going over it and really working on it, get it the way you like it. You don't have to be no certain way, because when it's done you'll really see what happens with the clear coat and the candy on it. So I'm gonna get this cleaned off with some lacquer thinner and some wax and grease remover, and figure out about where I want my pumpkin eyes in the mouth. I may put Happy Halloween up here, but I'm gonna do all the orange, grabber orange candy 2.0 on it first, and then a light inner coat, and then put the vinyls down, or I might make my own little vinyl stencils and paint it, airbrush it on there. I haven't decided yet, but you'll definitely see it when I do decide. And then clear coat it at the end, and it'll be ready to hang up and shimmer and look good. So that's what we're going to do. That's the next step. Alright, so we're gonna set up some paint here to grabber orange. And as I said, I use Auto Air Candy 2.0. This is grabber orange. So give it a shake, and we're gonna add some of the 4030. This is it's like a binder. You need to put that in there so it it gets good adhesion and it flashes off good. You can add about 20%, 30% of that, and if you need to, I like to use the 4020 reducer, automotive reducer. It tends to flow and dry better for me. Of course, it's humid here in Augusta, Georgia, so it definitely works out good for me. So we're gonna put some of the grabber orange in here, like that. And to start with, I'm going to put about 20 to 30% of the balancing. And I'm not going to add any reducer yet. I'm going to see how this sprays without it. Make sure you give it a really good shake. And I don't know if anybody's told you, but if you have a chance, mix this up about 30 minutes to an hour ahead of time and let it sit after you've shaken it. That'll give it its time to really bind together, mix. I think I'm going to add a little bit of reducer, and plus it'll give this reducer time to do its thing with getting in between all the molecules and everything. But it just gives it a lot of time for it to really mesh well with each other. So I'm going to let this sit for a little bit, and then we're going to spray it down. Alright, one quick thing before I spray the panel with the candies is I just wanted to really quick just tell you something about airbrushes, and if you need to buy a cheap one, will cheap ones work, what kind, stuff like that. If you're able to, invest in an Iwata. Okay, this is the BCS Eclipse. I love this airbrush. It is so good. It's a workhorse. You can get a 0.35 conversion for it, so it does a little finer. This has got the 0.50 in it right now. But if you have to buy something cheap, and for doing bigger stuff like this, not detail, I ain't talking about detail. Yes, this is a master airbrush. This one, I don't know the exact number, it's like a G22 or something like that. But it comes with the 0.8 and the 0.5. I keep the 0.8 in it, and it does really big areas, really good. If you just take the time to polish the needle that comes with it and really check your air fitting around here, maybe put a little either beeswax or a little Teflon tape around it, it works fine for that. You know, I'm not knocking them a bit. I got 3 of these that I use on when I'm doing multiple colors of things. So, you know, yes, they work. Just use it for the bigger stuff. Like I say, but if you can, get an Iwata, because this thing, I love this thing, and it works so good. Like I say, I get all my stuff from Coast Airbrush. No, they don't pay me for this, nothing like that. I personally love shopping there. Yes, it's on the other side of the country, but yes, I order my stuff from there all the time. But they have all of the paints, airbrushes, anything you could need. So, just a big shout out to Dave at Coast Airbrush. They're a great company. Alright, so what I'm going to do with mine is I'm going to put down just a light coat of Candy yellow. This is tequila yellow. I'm going to put that down first because it gives it a little bit brighter of a base to put the orange over the top of. And I really want the orange to really come out strong. But you can go straight orange with this if you want to, or whatever color you're doing. You don't have to do it the same way I'm doing it. I'm just showing you this is the project that I wanted to do, and I figured I'd show you. So, got my yellow, good to go, and I'm just going to lay down some light coats till I get it the depth that I want. Don't go on super thick with it. It's easy to go too thick too fast because it's so much of like a thin candy. But you don't want to go too thick too quick. You can put multiple coats on till you get that desired color you want, but definitely let it flash off in between coats. You know, get good and dry. That's about good for. I'm not pulling back super hard on the airbrush. I'm doing a light mist on it. And I've got a fan blowing to my left here, and normally I'd have on my respirator for this. Well, that's my, especially using water-based, waterborne. This works great, but I wanted you to be able to hear me, so I got a fan blowing behind me, blowing everything out. So I think that's about flashed off a little bit. I'm just going to do a little bit more of the yellow. Just to give it the hue, the tone that I want. About like that. Spray it out. Get it clean. That's a great thing about this stuff. You can use, I'd use water and some 40-20 reducer because it's got a little solvent in it. It's great for flushing out airbrush. Alright, so when that's good and flashed off, which doesn't take very long, all it needs is air moving, not heat, air. So you can just use a little air. Yeah, it's just about right. It's not wet. And see if you can see it a little bit. Move over here. If you can see, yeah, that's the yellow. So now we're gonna go with the, get out of the way. Now we'll go with the grabber orange. Put that on. This is also a good project to practice your trigger skills on your airbrush. Keeping the air on, letting off, starting again, because you can see I'm letting off at the end of the panel. And it helps you learn to control that airflow. Alright, so put down about 3 coats of the grabber orange Candy 2.0, and that's what it looks like. You can see how the yellow back got a kind of a back tint of yellow with the orange coming out front. Really makes that panel pop, and that doesn't even have clear on it yet. So I'm going to be putting pumpkin face on here. It's actually going to be this way, but it's going to have a pumpkin face on here, you know, pretty big, and the black of it, and then maybe say Halloween or Happy Halloween. I don't really know. I'm going to make some designs up and decide, and then once that's done, clear coat it, run some twine through the holes, and hang it on my front porch. So once I get the design done, I'm going to do it on, I've got a silhouette cameo that I do all mine on, so once I get that design done, we'll go from there, and I'll show you the next part. We're stopped after we did the orange Candy 2.0 on the ground metal panel. And as I said, I was going to put some kind of design on it for Halloween, and I've came up with a little something. I'm going to put this creepy kind of looking face on there and make it, you know, highlighted with glow in the back of it. And then at the top up here, it's gonna have a Happy Halloween paint right here. You can't see it, but I cut it out of some matte light tack vinyl, removable vinyl. Cut it out on my Cameo, Silhouette Cameo. Cut me out a couple of them to use. But before I do all that, we need to put down some of the 4040 Bleedchecker. That seals off the candy so it doesn't bleed into the layers above it. So if you put white on top of it, you don't want it to bleed in and turn it kind of orange, or, you know, any color like that. So if you put a coat of this Bleedchecker across it, it'll seal it off. Okay, so, and it doesn't need to be reduced. You're just going to spray it right out of the bottle. So instead of messing up another bottle, I'm just going to put a little blast cap on it and spray it right out of this bottle. So I'm going to put a little coat on there, and we will go from there. Alright, we'll let that flash off for a couple of minutes, and then we'll do one or two more coats just to make sure we got a good seal on it. Don't want it to bleed through, anything like that. But plus, if you make sure you put at least 30% by volume of your 4030 balance and clear into your candies, it really makes sure that this adheres, the candies adhere really good to whatever you're painting on. That's that binder that really makes it, you know, hang on. Plus, the grinding on the panel created a tooth for it to hang on to. So you got a good base to start with, but we still want to make sure we get a few coats of the Bleedchecker on it, so, you know, nothing bleeds through when we go to put some whites and some other colors into it. So I'm going to do a couple more coats, and after that I'll show you what we'll do next. Did about 3 coats of the Bleedchecker to make sure that the colors didn't bleed through. And as I said, I had this vinyl cutout of the Happy Halloween. I've put the outline that I want to spray on here, and I'm just masking off the outside. I'm going to spray some metal flake, silver metal flake, in the middle of this, and then pull it off and do the colors over the metal flake to really make it stand out and shimmer and all that. Then go back in and do the pumpkin face down here. But I just want to make sure that none of the other part gets the metal flake on it. I'm going to be using silver flake excuse me, that is mixed in with a intercoat clear, mixed in with a House of Color intercoat clear SG100 and reduced, and it's also got a little bit of holographic in it too. I just pre-mixed it and let it sit earlier. But what I'm going to do is just spray a couple of good coats of the flake on there, and then peel this off, and then we'll go from there. So after I masked it off and put a few coats of the silver flake on it and then pulled it off, you have to be real careful and don't let it sit too long or it will start to thicken and you won't be able to get that masking off. But if you pull it too early, you're going to string it, and so, you know, definitely take your time with it. It's hard to be able to see all the different colors, but it's going to look good once it's got the Happy Halloween on it, and then we're going to put the pumpkin face right down there. But we're going to let this set up, flash off overnight, and come back and work on it tomorrow. After I let the flake and that I sprayed dry and flash over overnight, what I did, I just put a piece of masking paint mask over it, and I just cut out around the edges to remove it right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray the same orange on here, and then I'm going to put the letters on top of it after it dries for a second, and then I'm going to spray black candy, so when I peel the letters away you'll still have that orange candy in the black outline. So that's what we're about to do. Now I'm going to leave it nice and light color like that, so it really gives a contrast to the dark orange. I'll leave it a lot brighter, almost a yellowish orange tint. And then I'm going to put the letters on, and then I'll show you the next step. Alright, so we got my vinyl cut out on top of the metal flake that I had sprayed with the little bit of the orange candy, and now I'm gonna spray some black candy around it, so when we peel off the vinyl, we'll have nice orange and metal flake showing through. So we're gonna do it, turn the air way down, so we work with real low pressure, and we're just gonna work diligently and slowly around. If you make sure you're at about a 90-degree angle against this, you'll not have to worry about accidentally lifting up your vinyl or your masking, because yes, vinyl does not like to stick to metal flake very much at all, so you have to take your time so you don't get lift on it. And yeah, this may be a lot to go through just for a little Halloween sign, but I look at it as it's practice for me. You know, I'm just messing around with new flake that I got and just trying some different processes to see what I like the most. So just a little bit of black candy. It's not super heavy, super thick. It's not opaque. It's just darker. So, let's see if I can show you what I'm talking about. See, if you can see where the yellow is, that's where it's gonna actually show through as, move this just a little bit. Let's see. Now, take this one out. It's okay. So you can see right there that it's gonna shine through really good. So we're gonna let that set up and dry, and then we'll take the rest of the vinyl off of it, and I'll show you what it looks like. And then we're gonna go and put this guy down here. I'm gonna trace him out on here, and then cut it out of the masking I got. Just cut it out with a blade, and then we're gonna do some fading and make it look like it's glowing from the inside. It's gonna look pretty good. So that's next. Alright, so if you can see, I traced out the little pumpkin face on the masking transfer paper, whatever you want to call it. But I traced it out, just cut it out, and now I'm using a little bit of a reduced white illustration paint, and I'm just going in and putting a little bit over the areas where the eyes and nose and mouth are going to be, and then we're going to go back in with some black, and then come back in again with some white to really bring out a glow look, and then spray it in with a little yellow to make it glow. So but like I said, after you put on that Candy 2.0 orange, you really need to put on the Bleedchecker. Put a few coats of Bleedchecker on it, because if you don't, when you start spraying this white, it can start leaching back through and really showing through your white, and make it really difficult to get a good coverage on it. So I'm just going in and just putting in a little bit of white, just to give it I can make a little bit of more detailed shadows on the black with the white on it, and see a little bit more of what I want to do. And it don't have to be completely opaqued out. It's just to give it a little bit of something to build a little depth in the eyes. So a lot of it's going to be pretty much blacked out anyway, so it really doesn't have to be nothing special. It's really mainly just in the middle that I want it, right around in here. The rest of it's going to be blacked out. And we'll make it look like it's glowing. Now we're going to switch to the black. All right. wondering, I have a bucket pan down here with paper towels in it that I keep down below my workbench, and I put water and a little bit of the 4020 automotive reducer in here. It's got a little bit of solvent to it, and it helps really keep it cleaned out and lubricated and everything. But I always use a MAC valve on my airbrush. You know, I love to be able to control how much air is going to it when I need it. And my first airbrush to learn on was this bottle fed Iwata Eclipse. So I've just gotten good at it. I haven't had a gravity fed Eclipse yet. I'm planning on getting one. I really want one, but I've gotten really good at controlling this one, so it's the one I use. I have a 0.35 set up for it if I want to get a little more detail. Now, like I say, what we're going to do is basically I'm just going to spray in the middle, and this is going to be the glow. We're just going to make it really just loose and make it really look like it's glowing from the inside. We're going to put a little bit of a edge. I've got some of the pieces from that I cut out that we're going to use to do a little edging on to show the light shining, so the light would hit all these areas, say from there. So we'll just use this to put a little edge. Is going to make it look like it's glowing a little bit. Give it a little bit of depth. We're not looking for super huge amounts of depth on it. Get the other eye. Just wanting to hit it a little loose. Give it a little bit of extra dimension on it. Trying to give it a little bit of highlighted areas. But the biggest part is we really want to make this part really bright white, right in the center. Really want to put the white to it. Really want this to glow. You'll see what I mean. And we're going to do the mouth. Give it a little bit. It's always good to hang on to the pieces you cut out and try not to wrinkle them up like I've done. That way you can have a little bit of a good edge on them. Because of course it, this would be where it's shining at. So if you just move it over just a little bit and then just sit it down, just dust it in there. And keep mind of where the light's going to be shining. So we want to make sure that this moves up because it's going to be shining straight down. Come on, get unstuck. There we go. Lay that out. Alright. Now, I can't really see it, I know, but it gives us that highlighted edge. And we just go in and put some little high spots on it. Definitely make sure you keep that tip dry to a minimum, because it will spit at you if you don't pay attention to it. Alright, now we're going to let that dry for a minute, and then we'll start spraying some orange and yellow. Alright, so now we're going to go in with the yellow candy. I'm just going to hit all the white that I just did. secret to making a lot of candies look really good is depth and layer and layer and layer. And put in the yellow, which is going to be brighter where it's the hottest. So middle's going to be the brightest, and we're going to come in and put white back again, but now we're going to come in and put orange around the outside where it would be the dimmest. Orange. Orange is going to tint back that yellow just a little bit, but it's still going to keep it really bright. I'm going to go over the outside a little bit more. So now you have a really bright area. With just a very light touch of white, not even much at all, just to make it look like it's really coming from the middle. And that's about it. So now we're going to tear it away. Alright, let's peel this back. The best that we can here. And remember that this paint on top of here will scratch, so be careful whenever you pull your mask off, because if you fingernail across this metal panel, you will scratch the paint. So be careful trying to get it up, and don't gouge it. if you remember, I put silver metal flake down, and we coated it with a little orange candy, and then a little inner coat clear, and then I laid down this Happy Halloween little sign, and then sprayed some black candy mixed with a little bit of illustration black on it to not completely opaque it out, but make it darker than usual, so the letters would really stand out, but you'll get the full effect once it's cleared. Because and this is going to have we're going to go around this with, we're going to take some one-shot pinstripe enamel, and we are going to mix in some silver gray pearl in it, and we're going to pinstripe around it with a thin stripe using our I can't remember what is it. I know I've got the regular MAC sword striper, but the other one is the scroller, Black Widow, sorry. It escaped me, but I like using this thin 00 Black Widow scroller to get around there, so that's what's going to be happening. But I could use I got the 00 MAC Excalibur striper too if I wanted to do a little bit bigger, but going with small. But so you can see basically what I was talking about. Get all the little bit of dust off of it. Let's see if I can get it up a little bit. Happy Halloween. Not bad, huh? As I say, when we get the clear on it, it'll really stand out. And then we'll go from there again. So that's what it looks like after clear. And did a little pinstripe around the Happy Halloween, but you can see it really looks good afterwards. So if you got any questions about it, leave me a message. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed that video that I put out. If you have any questions or any suggestions of what you'd like to see, make sure to send me a message. Make sure you also click on the like and subscribe so you can get any update videos that I have. We're going to be putting out more videos of other stuff for newbies and for people that are on a very shoestring budget, like I explained before. When some people believe a budget is this, others believe the low budget is the other, but we're going on the way low budget side. So we're going to be putting together some more videos, and we're going to talk about all kinds of low budget things to practice, learn, get better on the painting, airbrushing, taping, pinstriping, all of it. And if you have any suggestions or questions or comments, please let me know. And until next time, take care.